Welcome back to another SUPboarder review. This is the review for the Ryber 290, which is basically a 9'6" small iSUP designed for lighter paddlers to get on the water for the first time and maybe get into a bit of waves as well. Specifications for this board: it's 290 long, which is 9'6". It's 70 centimeters wide, which is 27.5 inches wide, so it's not actually that wide, and it weighs 7 kilos, so it's a fairly lightweight board. It's 4 inches thick, which is 100 millimeters, and it comes with 2 mini side fins and a single slot box center fin. And it retails with a pump and repair kit at £289, which is a fairly cheap price point, isn't it? So it's finished off in the same way as the other Ryber SUPs. It's got the internal core drop stitch, and it's finished off with 2 outer layers of fused high density PVC. So this being the smallest board in the Ryber range, the 290 is definitely going to suit the lighter paddlers for about 30 kilograms, which is what kids, up to about 75 kilograms. Real sweet spots for the adults is about up to 65 kg. You could sort of use this as a sort of first time SUP to get you into the sport. When it comes down to width versus length, it's relatively narrow compared to its length, which makes it very easy to paddle in a straight line, and again have lots of glide over the water. Similar to the 295 with a bigger person on it, it's going to be really easy to paddle in a straight line and actually go some distance if you're that lighter weight of person. But also because it has a slightly smaller tail than the other boards because of the width overall, and it is still 4 inches thick, you're going to be able to go out and catch some waves with this and actually have a bit more performance than you would do out of a thicker, wider based iSUP. So fittings you get on the board, starting up at the nose there, you got your bungees at the nose now. So Ryber have taken the bungees off at the back, which is where they usually are on the other boards, and they've put them up at the nose. Then you've got your pretty much, it's a big EVA deck pad for this board, really comfy again, same material as the other boards, 3mm EVA. Padded carry handle, the same as on the other boards, and obviously with the weight of this board, very easy to carry with that handle. Deck pad then finishes back here, and then you've got your large Ryber logo, finishing off with your inflation valve. Inflation pressure is a 15 to 18 psi for this board, so they recommend a little bit less than the other boards, which are more 18 to 20 psi. And then you've got your leashing point at the back there. When we put this board through our deflection test, which is where we put it on a gap of 1.5 meters apart, and we put a weight of 75 kilograms in the center, and then we measure how much the board dropped. We only pumped this board up to 15 psi, so it's the lower psi rating for this board, and this board dropped 26 millimeters, which, if you remember, if you watched the 295 Ryber video review we did, which came out at 90 millimeters, is lower than that. And that's really just due to the less pressure that's in the board. So if we inflated this board up a little bit more, we would probably increase the stiffness. But bear in mind, this board isn't recommended to higher pressure as the 295 is. But definitely remember, this board is designed for lighter weight riders, so you're going to get a lot less flex out of the board if you're lighter than if you're a heavier paddler on this board. So remember, when you buy your Ryber 290, you get a very stripped back package that comes with the board. You get a repair kit and you get a pump. Having a look at the pump, it is a double action pump, two-way pump, so it pumps on the upstroke and on the downstroke. It's a very good quality pump that you do find with other board brands as well. It's got an inbuilt pressure gauge, and also when the pumping starts to get tough, you can then put a valve over, and then you can pump just on the downstroke to give you as much force to let you get up to 18 psi in the board quite easily. So looking at the bottom of the board, it's the same rocker line, which is curve of the board, as the other Ryber SUPs, with its cool paint splattered Ryber logoing, which hasn't rubbed off, because I said we've been rubbing it up and down the beach. We do tend to test our boards a little bit to see how they wear and tear. So up at the front there, you can see the nose kick, which then allows the choppy water or any bumps to ride underneath the board, and you're flat straight towards the tail, which then makes paddling the board easy in a straight line and gives you as much speed as possible. Looking at the back of the board, you've got your 2 mini side fins, super indestructible jobs, and then the center of the board, you've got your slot box fin, which you can fit in your slot box fin, which are now really popular on the market. A lot of the intermediate beginner based boards have slot box style fins, not as hard wearing as some maybe the other fins, but definitely a very easy, quick system to use. So as I've said with the other Ryber videos, and I apologise if you have to watch this bit again, is Ryber sort of sell you a very stripped back price point of the board. So at £289, that is a very good price point, but you do not get your bag and you do not get your paddle for that money, but they offer you very cheap accessories that you can upgrade to go with the package. So looking at the bag, we have a deluxe bag here, which is a sort of all singing all dancing bag. It retails at $69.95, heavy duty ripstop nylon. It's got got your wheels, carry handles, big padded backpack, and it's the sort of bag you would find on very good quality iSUPs on the market that would retail at the sort of £1,000 price point. So that's your sort of upgrade bag, because remember, a lot of times people might not want to buy a bag. They might just want to roll the board up, maybe put the strap around the board and then put it in the back of the car like that. So you haven't got to have to buy a bag to go with an iSUP, just remember that. Paddle wise, most popular paddle most people get into the sport is an aluminium 3-piece paddle. Ryber do a very cheap one here. Good quality for the money, definitely. 3-piece, goes in the bag easily, retails at $29.95. This is the sort of paddle that's just going to get you on the water first time and get you out having fun. You're probably, if you end up getting into the sport, you're going to upgrade this paddle fairly quickly. So therefore, if you know you're sort of committed to the sport and you're really into it, you might as well just upgrade and get yourself a better paddle like a 3-piece carbon paddle here. Still got the plastic blade, so super hard wearing, retails at $69.95. Very good price point and probably well worth the upgrade from the aluminium paddle. And going up from there again, if you know you want a super lightweight paddle and you just want to really treat yourself, have a look at the Ryber carbon paddle, a very light paddle, very nice shaped blade, similar blade to other more performance, very expensive paddles on the market, and at $139.95 it is a very cheap price. Really like that paddle, works really well. Even got a sort of lever system here with a channel groove at the top there so your paddle doesn't twist. Very nice, good price point paddle on that one. So there you go, some other accessories that you can upgrade to make your package exactly what you want it to be. So this board really is going to suit the lighter weight paddlers. Yes, you're going to be able to paddle it up to about 75 kilograms, but if you're getting into the sport, it's your first time SUP, maybe if you're sub 65 kilograms and down, this is the sort of board you could look at. It's going to be a little bit narrower in the width, definitely, because it's 27 wide, but then when you get the grasp of it, it's going to be very easy to paddle in a straight line and offer you a lot of glide for the amount of paddle strokes you put in. And for the kids, it is a great size SUP to get them on the water. They can still muck about with their friends. And also for the kids, I've just seen that they do 2 other additions as well. They do a Jolly Roger sort of pirate graphic, and they do a unicorn graphic as well. So if you've got any budding princesses or Jack Sparrows out there, those 2 boards are definitely worth a look at. Pros and cons and value for money. Pros, well, it's got to be the shape of the board and actually bit being not too wide for the lighter paddlers. Wide boards are very easy to stand on, but then they do suffer and they slow you down and they make a lighter person find it harder to paddle. So that is a good pro. Cons, I still don't like there's no factor the deck pad here. I love it if the deck pad continued all the way back, and then that would offer the people who want to get into it in a bit more surf, a bit easier to paddle and a bit more grip at their back, and they wouldn't have to wax it. Value for money, well, you've guessed the value for money. It's fairly cheap, isn't it? £289, you really can't argue with it. Yes, you have got to upgrade, so you end up spending about £350 before you have a leash and a paddle, but it's still a very cheap package to get you on the water. So I hope you found that SUPboarder review interesting and informative. Remember, if you want to find out more about paddleboarding, check out SUPboardermag.com, where we've got loads of board reviews, loads of other techniques to get you on the water and having as much fun as possible. But until next time, we'll see you on SUPboarder or on YouTube. Thanks a lot.